What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the first statue video review and unboxing of May 2021. Hopefully we can have a stellar May month. We're starting out with Transformers Museum Masterline Autobot Ratchet. So Ratchet is one of the original 5 Autobots. He was in all 3 first movies. And this is part of my line to complete the original Autobot Transformer team. So he is the final member of that team. Really excited to add him and finish that line per se, even though I've still got a few more Transformers I'll be adding to the collection. But I'm very excited to add Ratchet. Now, I have seen him in person. I saw him when I went to Universal Studios Orlando. He was at the Transformers 3D or 4D ride in the shop afterwards. So it's very cool to see him. I can't remember if I saw him in Tokyo Comic Con. I saw a bunch of Transformers there as well. I bought him from Prime 1 directed economy shipping. Took about a month and a half to receive him once they shipped him. They shipped him pretty much instantly once I paid for the order. It was like next day. But he does come in 2 boxes, as you can see. I'm guessing that is the base, and that is him. That one actually weighs more than that one, believe it or not. So let's open the boxes and see what we got. Alrighty, folks, so this is what we got. As I expected, the base is right here, and we got Ratchet and a bunch of parts. This is the first time I've received a Transformer statue with the legs already attached to the hips. Usually it's never attached, and it's always such a pain in the butt to attach it and get it in right. So fortunately, we don't have to worry about that. There is instructions here, which I can't hold. But look at all those statue parts. Jupiter. That is a lot. So there's 20 steps. In addition, there's an extra little pamphlet talking about the exclusive part where he's holding that weapon. So free extra part. So let's start building Ratchet and see what we think. Alrighty, folks, we're getting close. We got the arms, the head, some additional little parts. We still got all this, and then we'll get it set up. As you can see, we're basically missing the chest piece, some shoulder pieces, but I'm on step 15 now. So let's get to it and get this finished for you guys. Alrighty, YouTubers, so I finally got it set up. There were a few tricky parts. One was getting this silver thing in. It's just magnetized. There's not like a peg. The other was this little teeny thing. You can barely even see. It's like a little wire thing. I didn't even know where the part was, so I had to look at the instructions. I'm glad they do include this because it does help you find the parts, and I realized it was right there. It's like a little metal thing that just sticks up, so it's kind of hard to see at this lighting. The only other part we have is this extra free part, which you can simply attach. I guess you remove his hand or something and attach that instead. So let's see how that looks. Alrighty, and so here's the look with this little saw blade. So you don't remove the hand, you remove this part that's normally right there. And then you have to take this actually apart. It comes apart in 3 pieces. You put it piece by piece to angle it in. It wasn't super difficult to get on by any means. Does it improve the overall look? I mean, it's pretty freaking cool, no doubt. And it's basically, without it, it's the exact same. So I do think I like it, and I want to keep it there. Just have this extra piece now. So yeah, here it is, finally all set up. This did take a while. In addition, I had a work meeting in between. So this whole process took me over an hour and a half. But let's go ahead and put it up in the statue room. Alrighty, folks. So here it is in all its glory, the original Autobot team. It's so iconic to just have this. So, as you know, I'm a huge Transformers fan. Love all the movies. 2's probably my least favorite, though. 1 and 3 are definitely 2 of the best. Also 4. I would say actually 3, 4, 1 is how I'd put it for top 3. But having the original team is just so personal. I just love it. I should have collected these a long time ago. I thought I'd be satisfied with just B and Optimus. But you know me, I don't like settling for anything less than the best for the most part. So this is definitely incredible having all of them. What really makes this awesome as well is just the different sizes, the colors. They really just contrast and just look so well. You know, so Ratchet is like a lime yellowish green. You know, he's not like Bumblebee. As you can see, they're definitely different. It's like a lime green yellow, or Bumblebee's more of the true yellow, Optimus the big blue and red, Jazz is just gray, and Ironhide's black. So the colors really mix and match quite well. And then when I get Sentinel Prime, he'll be giant red. It'll look really good. So definitely very excited to get that. So yeah, very, very cool to finally see this completed. So I always saw Ronnie Stark's photos on Facebook, and I was always so jelly. I was like, gosh dang it, I really need to buy that. And I delayed it for a long time just because I was like, it's like $3,300 to finish it. But eventually, like 3 months ago, I decided, well, I was originally going to get Queen Arnold, and then I saw it was $7,000. So I was like, screw it, I'll just get these guys. So I bought these three. And then obviously I had to wait for economy shipping. But yeah, I'm very happy to finally have this line complete. Very, very cool. So let's check out Ratchet though. Now I have done a previous video on Ratchet more or less when I saw him at, you know, Universal Studios, but it's always different when you get a statue in person. It's not behind glass. It's not covered in dust. You know, you spent your time, money, and effort to actually go out and purchase it. It has more meaning. It really does. And you can appreciate it way more. You have much more personal attachment to a piece. And that's really what makes a piece special to you, is having that personal attachment, what you went through to get it. I sold statues to fund this. So let's go ahead and review this bad boy. So he has, they'll have matching bases for the most part. These ones are all like the same shape. Optimus is more of the circle. And I actually really like how they did that. Optimus deserves to have that bigger base because he's their leader. But these four have pretty much the exact same bases, although the color is different, a little bit different on each of them. You know, like his is a little bit darker. His Bumblebee's is a little bit, there's a slight bronze hint. These two are very close, very, very close to being the exact same. I'm trying to see if there's a visual difference. They look almost completely identical, even in size. I can't see a difference, really. Let me look at the Transformer writing. Yeah, I'm fairly confident these are the exact same bases because even the Transformer writing is the exact same symbols, the lines on the base. So they have the exact same base. The only difference really is where the pegs are at, and obviously their stances. So I do like these bases. I think they make the pieces look classy. They make them look museum style. I love how they have the Autobot logo on all of them. It just looks fantastic for these bases. They do take up a decent amount of space. I mean, Transformer statues do take up a lot of space, but they're well worth the space that's required to display them because these are truly magnificent statues. You know, they're just so freaking cool. And I'm very happy with Ratchet from what I'm seeing. I love his vibrant colors, the way he looks. So if you're unfamiliar, I mean, in the first movie, it shows him as a Jeep, but this one is actually not a Jeep. It is a fire department truck. You can see right there. Search and Rescue Fire Department. So let's start down below. There's just so much to look at. I really do love the color choice for this, like yellow-green color. You got these blue tubes. There's just so much going on. Here's some tires. Just so freaking cool. And, you know, obviously the headlights of the car. Then there's, yeah, just a lot of detail inside of here. His arms are crazy, and he has these giant shoulders with more tires, and then there's different mirrors. And one thing that's really cool when I was setting it up, these little mirrors back here are actual mirrors. Like, you can see your reflection in these. You know, like, look at that. That's a real mirror. And then these little rods are metal. So extremely cool. Here's the face. Now this does come up with light up. It's just the battery. So you press this button and there's the light up. It's not as bright as like, this guy's super bright. You know, let me show you his light up again. You know, like you can see the difference. His is much brighter. Yeah, he has super bright lights. Even like Optimus and B are very, you know, they're more like this. He just happens to have very bright lights. Plus, it's kind of hard to turn his on, so you have to dig your finger in this tiny little spot. His is easy because you just press this button right here. But I do like the light up features. I don't use them as often just because these batteries die super quick. You know, I use them every now and then. But it is cool to have it because it does bring a little life into the statue, I'll say. But his face is cool looking, no doubt. There's a good amount of detail in there, for sure. Some weathering done. They did a great job on the weathering on the entire statue. Just a fantastic looking piece. The thing about these Transformers I really like is there's just so much detail all throughout them that you can literally look at these pieces for hours and just find so much because of what it is. Here in the back you have another of his head, but then I'm using those little shoulder rockets, which make him a little bit taller. So, you know, he's definitely a lot bigger than Jazz here. You know, he's a decent sized Transformer, although Optimus is still king at like 29 inches tall. You know, where this one's like 26. I believe Ironhide's advertised as 25, 22, and 19 is what they advertise it as. So, yeah, definitely very, very cool. I like the design of the whole fire truck. I'm actually glad they went with Dark Side of the Moon version instead of Transformer 1 version. I think this version looks better. This is one of his best looks. So if you're unfamiliar with who Ratchet is, he is the Autobot that's in charge of medical stuff. So he does do some fighting, but he's there for, you know, repairing people like Ironhide, who's the weapons guy. When he gets damaged, he'll repair him. So he was in the first 3 movies. In the 4th and 5th, they got a different person to do the repairs. I believe actually they killed him at the beginning of the 4th movie when he was hiding out. He was the first one to die by that guy, Lockdown, if you remember. I do like the inclusion of that saw blade. I think it is pretty cool. Something I do plan to display because that saw blade is pretty awesome looking. And it's not too difficult to remove it if I don't want it, but for now I'm going to display it. But it is definitely something different from your typical Transformer where they're all, you know, like holding out a weapon for the most part. Every one of them are. So this is something unique and different. I definitely love the colors, I will say. There's a ton of detail, very unique design, much different than all the other Transformers. And I definitely love the fact they did real mirrors on those tiny little mirrors. I think that's really cool. You know, I can actually see my reflection in that tiny little mirror. So it doesn't feel cheap at all. It's a good weighty piece. All the pieces felt good, high quality, good paint job. So definitely a solid effort by Prime 1 Studios. Now he retails at like $1,200, I think. $1,200 or $1,250. You know, where Ironhide was like $1,600. He's like $1,000. Bumblebee was like $1,200. Optimus was like $2,200. So I think the price is right for what you get. You know, he's cheaper than Ironhide, who has those giant gun arms. It's not as good as him for sure. But it's a little bit more expensive than Jazz, and that definitely is justified because of the size, you know, more girth and whatnot. So definitely solid piece by Prime 1. I'm definitely happy to have it in my collection. It's definitely not going to go anywhere. Transformers is part of my end game. Pretty much any Transformer piece I get from now on out. You know, I sold my Bumblebee wall plaque, my Squeaks, but anything from Prime 1 is a keeper for me. I'm never going to sell my Prime 1 Transformers. Will I expand on it? Very, very unlikely, because Sentinel Prime was really the main last one I wanted him, and I did want to get Drift because I thought he was a sick-looking Autobot, you know, being a samurai warrior, and I love samurai. So I don't think I'll buy any additional ones. If I was, it would have to be a replacement for something, like they made a better version of that character. Now, I know they have the new Megatron from Dark Side of the Moon, and it looks great, but I don't know if I would replace this one, because I really love this one, and it looks awesome. Plus, having the sand base would look kind of off, I feel. And I think I prefer the design of him as the tank here. I definitely would not switch my Optimus for the Revenge of the Fallen. I definitely prefer Dark Side of the Moon. So, you know, and Starscream is also Revenge of the Fallen. So these two are both Revenge of the Fallen. And this is all Dark Side of the Moon, except for Jazz's from the first movie, because that's the only movie he's in. But yeah, I'm definitely very happy with Ratchet. Now, Jazz is just there to show you guys. I'll keep Jazz here for now until Sentinel Prime arrives. He shipped 2 weeks ago, so he should arrive in the next 2 to 3 weeks, 2 to 4 weeks. Depends, because, you know, Jazz only took a month, where he took a month and a half. So it really depends, I guess, on the sea. But yeah, I'm very happy with Ratchet. I definitely do recommend him. Although I do feel like these 3 characters only get if you're going to get all of them. You know, I feel like Bumblebee can be a standalone, Optimus can be a standalone, or they pair together. Optimus pairs great against Megatron. But I would never just buy Ratchet. I would only buy him as part of the line. You know, it's just like Jade and Melina. I wouldn't just buy a Jade statue, never. I buy it as part of the line, because when you get multiple statues from the same line, they just create such an amazing view, and that's the reason I got Ratchet, Ironhide, and Jazz. Not for my love of the character. The statues are phenomenal, but I bought it to complete the line, and I absolutely love it. And I am the type of